welcome to our first MGLuxM podcast. My name is Smita Jain and I'm going to be your host for today. And I've got some very special people here with me who, although to some of our MGLuxM students need no introduction, but I'm going to quickly and surely start introducing them as well. Let me first take you through what the plan is today. So as you know, today we are going to be talking about a very, very interesting and a very, I would say, untapped topic of related to luxury and related to the talents in this industry. Why do luxury recruiters prefer MGLuxM graduates over general masters? So MGLuxM being what? Being the Masters in Global Luxury Goods and Services Management program at Spade Jain. So in general, touching topics like, is a luxury management master's important? If so, why? What is happening in the luxury space? And a lot more. I am the program director for the MGLuxM program at Spade Jain, and with me I have my two very, very talented and successful alumni. So Shivansh Lodha, Varsha Pamnani, welcome to the first podcast ever. And I want to quickly, give you guys some space to introduce yourselves to our wonderful viewers here. So Shivansh, I'll start with you. Could you tell us what are you doing currently? A little bit about yourself, your background.
Absolutely. So a very good afternoon, everyone. Well, my name is Shivansh Lodha, and I currently work as a client advisor in one of the leading brands in the world, which is Gucci. And talking about my previous experiences, although it might come as a shock to a lot of people, but I'm also an advocate who sort of migrated into a completely uncharted territory. And I would say that the two cities, Mumbai and Milan, honestly, they paved my way into the world of luxury. Where in Mumbai, the city of dreams, as we know, and Milan, the fashion capital of the world. These two places have had a huge impact on me.
And sorry, Shivansh, you heard that right. He was a lawyer. He was going to be a lawyer, but now he's got into luxury. Because I'm sure some people would be like, "What did you say? Advocate?" But yes. He was studying law and look where he is now. So these are the kind of myths we are going to get into. Can someone from a different field get into luxury or not? So you hear it from the horse's mouth himself.
So these days I introduce myself that I'm an advocate, but at the same time I've turned into a brand advocate now from a corporate advocate.
Wonderful. And Varsha, I think from the day we saw you at MGLuxM and the day we interviewed you, we knew that you were going to be one of the biggest fashionistas ever. And could you share a little bit about your journey, what you're currently doing, and what you were doing previously?
Yes. So I don't have any background as Shivansh. I come from a very small city, which is Ajmer in Rajasthan, and luxury comes from there only. The Maharajas, I've born and brought up seeing them only, flourish, and that's how I was always into fashion. I loved fashion, I loved luxury, and with time, I just wanted to, deep dive into what is this world of luxury. I wanted to understand more, and that was the reason I did this course. And right now, I am working with Spade as a fashion consultant. And it's been a ride. It's been a ride, and Milan, it was a journey for me. Learned everything from there, and now I'm here working with the topmost brand, that is Spade. But yeah, it's been a journey.
And I think, bigger heights to climb, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
You spoke about Ajmer, Varsha. So I just want to talk about, this topic. A lot of people say that, luxury in India is restricted to Mumbai and Delhi and small cities, you can't really expect, there's no awareness. So how did a girl from Ajmer land up here, and what do you also want to say maybe to some of the other viewers who are from different cities? And even for us at MGLuxM, recently we have been noticing a lot of students from Allahabad, from Kolhapur, from Nasik. Non-Mumbai, non-Delhi, non-Kolkata, type cities. So, given that you are from there, how is it? Is it different? What was your how did you get exposed? And why was this dream of getting into luxury big?
I think it's just a myth that, people from Ajmer or people from Allahabad, I think we are the people who know luxury the best because we see it. I mean, we don't see big buildings, big cities, big brands, but we see it in the little things, and that's where the passion comes from. So where I
There's a lot of bourgeoisie, I would
Yes,
say, in
yes.
such cities.
Yes.
And for our viewers who don't know what bourgeoisie means, Shivansh, I think you know this word very well. But it basically means, the rich, the upper middle class or the high class. Irrespective whether you're talking about people living in tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities or whichever city, there is a lot of concentration of a high class in every location within our country.
Exactly.
And as you rightly said, the history. That
Exactly.
Maharajas and the palaces and the
Exactly.
grandeur has always been there, right?
And the attention to detail is also in these small cities, which we see in luxury. Like, luxury is there. And as from Ajmer, I saw a dream that, I want to make a place in Bombay.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was I don't deny to the fact that Bombay is not luxury, like living in Bombay is not luxury, but I had that dream and that came from living there. And now making a space for myself in Bombay, because I saw a dream, that has been a journey. And to all the future aspirants, if you are from that place, that city, I think, we make a place very easily here than to people living here. And that you'll see when you come here and you start working here. It's been a ride. It takes a little bit of time to make that space for you. But we understand luxury, I think, very differently to what luxury is for people living in Bombay. So that has been,
With that thought, I'll speak to Shivansh, given that you're from Mumbai. So, I mean, is your experience or is your perception of luxury different, or do you agree with what she's saying, or?
No, I somewhere down the line do agree with what she said, because if you see the true form of luxury is all about craftsmanship, which is all handcrafted products. And in cities like Rajasthan, in states like Rajasthan, places like Ajmer, cottage industry is like a huge sector. All these handicrafts and like handmade articles, that is what luxury is. It's just that Indian brands are not marketed that way to sort of elevate themselves in terms that these are luxurious products. Because with Rajasthan especially, the kings and the Maharajas, they used to get their jewelry done from Cartier. If at that point of time we had some Indian jeweler making this and just creating some hype, we would have n number of luxury brands in India right now.
Right.
So the true form of luxury definitely is there in these small places, because it's all handcrafted products. It's just the marketing which is different. And in Bombay, I do feel that it's something which is very socially accepted. It is a lot more easier. Like looking at a luxury brand, going to a luxury brand is not something which is I would say different. It's part of your everyday life. You see brands.
So sometimes you're looking at it as in a commercial way. You're not even
Exactly.
looking at, as you mentioned, attention to detail and all that. Maybe a buyer from a tier 2 city might notice things in a different way.
Exactly.
And might have a different value or a respect for an item versus maybe someone who's from Bombay. It could be, right? That
Yes,
could be the
yes.
scenario as well. So,
yes.
yes, I mean, okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about your experience, your education, your education journey. I'm sure the audience would want to know from you, now that you are working professionals, you are in the field, you're dealing with clients every day, you're dealing with team members every day, you have colleagues in this industry. So now you're a seasoned player, right? Compared to what you were, maybe 2 years ago when you were an aspiring student. Do you think that it is important to have some level of training to get into this industry? Do you think training matters? And if so, what?
Okay, firstly, I would like to say I'm not really seasoned yet, because I'm also still learning.
Long way to go, but
long way to go. Exactly, just started.
You're getting
But,
there.
yeah,
you're much more
exactly.
seasoned than you were 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. So now talking about training,
Yeah.
I mean it's very important, because as I say, luxury, this particular field is a culture in itself.
Right.
And in order to understand this culture, in order to practice it with finesse, you definitely require some level of specialized training and some level of skill sets that you would learn through a specialized course.
Right.
Like for example, if you talk about general MBA, they teach you things like the concepts of marketing. But when you talk about luxury brands or luxury brand management, they defy the whole concept of marketing and they follow something called as the anti-laws of marketing. And this is something which I would never have even learned without doing this particular course or without doing a specialized training in the world of luxury.
Without getting initiated into this industry.
Yeah.
You know, when you said the word culture, the immediate thing in my mind that came was like it's a different world. It's a different culture, it's a different world. It's like a cult, it's like a small circle, it's a community of people.
Yeah.
And in order to belong to that community, you need to be initiated into that community by your mentor or by your, you know, it could be your faculty, it could be someone from the industry who's hired you, it could be anybody, it could be the brand manager that you're working with. But you need to be initiated into this industry, and it's just to give a little bit of relativity to the audiences. The culture that you have is something that you're born with, right?
Yes.
You're born with your culture, so you don't need any introduction to that culture because you're born with it. Your parents have already introduced you into that culture. Like when I say culture, I'm talking about your lifestyle, you know, the way you're living. Because today culture can also be okay. I follow veganism, or I follow this, you know, that, or whatever.
Yes.
But similarly, luxury is not a job.
Exactly.
It's not a job. It's a way of life.
Yeah.
So you are not working. You're not just an employee. You are someone who is living that, you know, breathing that. So somewhere you feel that that's true, and for you, has it been true for you?
I'd like to add here that, you know, this certain sense of knowledge, this certain sense of training just makes you stand out from the crowd that you are in. And I've lived that experience. While I'm working, where I'm working, I see me being at a pedestal because of course I've learned, I know what I'm doing, I know I have the knowledge, I stand there with the confidence even while speaking about a product.
Right.
You can't speak about a product
Because for you it's not a product, it's bigger than
Exactly. So while we were in Milan, we went to so many tanneries, now we see, you know, what goes behind it. So to explain that to a client also, you need to live it first and then you explain it. So it comes with a sense of knowledge, and I don't think so that knowledge cannot come like without training. You have to have a certain
level of experience,
Yes.
certain level of training.
Yes.
Something that you want to, and I mean, given that you spoke about Milan, I mean that's very important. So in my opinion, but maybe not, because you have again lived that in your journey.
Yes.
So do you think that abroad, exposure abroad, as a lot of people say, abroad exposure, or exposure, European exposure, because it's a luxury field, and Milan is one of the, I would say,
Hubs.
one of the birthplaces or the hubs of the luxury industry.
Yes.
I mean, you name it, right? Gucci, Versace, Prada, many, many more. If I have to just name a few, these are the few top ones that I can think of. Do you think that it was important to have gone to Milan?
Can I ask you one more question to this, like
Sure,
a follow-up question?
sure.
Although it might be slightly deviating, but I think a lot of people will relate. Have you seen the movie Drishyam?
Yes.
Okay, so what does Ajay Devgan do when he makes up this story about the 3rd October thing? 2nd, 3rd October.
Yeah, I know.
Does he tell this to his family, or he makes them experience
them
the end?
Experience.
That's exactly what sets it apart. Reading about Italy, going about watching videos about Italy, about Milan.
That's true actually.
It's a different
Although
ballgame
he hated
altogether.
us, but
Milan
somehow,
question, but I immediately got your point
Just-
when you
just
said
pop
that
up,
you have to
live it.
You have to live the life.
You have to live it in order to practice it
Yes.
first. And that's what that particular city taught us, honestly, because on daily basis you're seeing people dress in a particular way.
Yeah.
Even if they're going to say a mall or to go to or a shopping mall or something, or just go to chill or
even
grab
at
a
a
beer or
cafe.
something. Yeah, exactly.
grocery store.
The way they dress,
Grocery
it's completely appropriate, and they dress for the particular occasion.
Yeah.
So these little tiny nuances is what sets people apart, and that kind of exposure is very required in your early stages, I would say, in order to enter this industry, in order to practice those sort of skills. Because
Okay, so now if I have to ask you, okay, for you, Milan was important. I mean, it was a good exposure.
Very, very.
I got that. Now, when I talk about recruiters, because let's not forget our podcast is about recruiters, right?
Yes.
Do you think that you are seen in a particular way because you have done a course which has a certain level of international exposure embedded in it, and hence the recruiter says, oh, okay, you have been to Milan, and hence XYZ, there's some different kind of sharing or exchange that happens between you and them. Is that something that you experienced?
Absolutely, I would say, because see, practical experience definitely is important when it comes to,
Uh-huh.
sorry, work experience is definitely important.
Right.
But at the same time, if you have a degree to substantiate that or sort of add on to this, it makes your candidature extremely strong.
Okay.
And learning luxury from the place where it belongs, or sort of, I would say, like, I mean, Europe is the mecca of luxury, I would say.
Yes.
The markets are completely developed and matured. India right now is at a very nascent stage. But we get clients who are traveling from all the places, be it any city or be it globally, internationally, and a lot of people traveling. So if you get that sort of exposure, it definitely sets you apart. And at the time of recruiting also, it definitely raises an eye when the recruiters are sort of, when they see that, okay, you have a professional degree from MIT or from XYZ college in Milan. It definitely makes your profile a little more stronger, and it sort of substantiates as to what all you are saying.
And to a certain extent, I feel that, if you call a phrase, like if you can't convince them, join them. So in luxury, it's not about convincing your client, right? Like, please buy this. You're not doing that.
It's not about selling at all.
Like,
It's
buy
not
this
about
product. It's
Yeah.
like, I know that this is something that's gonna suit you because I have been there, done that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the emotional portion that you have to use with your client, and they need to see that confidence in you.
Yes.
That you know what you're talking about because you've been there, done that.
Yes.
Kind of,
It's all
I'd
about-
like to add.
yeah,
Go
please,
ahead,
please,
go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
So I'd like to add here that when you sit in front of the recruiters and you've just done a master's, right? So you don't sit with an experience. So now you have to have something that you sit with. So that's where it comes handy.
That's the carrot.
where. Yeah, that's where. Because wherever I sat, I had no experience at all. I was a fresher. Being a fresher, what do I tell them? That what have I done in life? So I have done a master's. That is the reason I'm very certain that I'm good fit for the company.
Yeah.
Because I have done a master's, I am well read, well traveled. That's what their question is. The recruiters I sat with, they've said this, that we want the candidates to be well read, well traveled. That is the criteria.
That's one of the criteria.
Yeah.
So that's where it added, because no experience, nothing. So that's where this came handy, that I have done
Right.
something and I can sit in front of you.
Yeah. So I mean, just for our audiences, do you have any, I don't know, scary or funny recruitment or interview stories? Or, I mean, you don't have to name the brands, but anything that you'd like to share, because as an aspirant, like I remember when I was 21 years old, I was very, very intimidated to go for my first interview. Like, no, I don't want to go for it. Like, you get cold feet, right? So sometimes certain experiences, certain anecdotes, these kind of things which I've heard maybe at that time. I'm talking, I don't know what to say, but how many years ago, decades ago, it helped me, to connect that, okay, like they're not they're not aliens.
Yeah.
They're from the same planet as you, and they're humans, and you can go and be yourself. But I mean, at the risk of naming some brands, I know that Gucci is very tough to get into. Louis Vuitton is very tough to get into. They are very, very, I mean, the interviewers are very tough, and they will be tough on you if you don't know why you're there. You need to know your content, you need to know your purpose. So any stories that you can share with our audience?
I've been smiling all through because I have had such experience, and the place only is very scary. You go inside. So where I sat for my interview, the place was intimidating. Forget the people. But where I entered,
it was a 5-star hotel or something.
Yes, and it's in Bombay. And when I entered, the place was, getting on my nerves. That the place is so scary. But how will I sit in front of them? And when I sat in front of them, believe me, it's not a lie. They are intimidating. They will try to intimidate you because they are sitting there for a reason. They are at that top level for a reason, and it gets fine. I'm not here to scare anybody, but it is intimidating. It is because I'm telling you, like, forget the people, the place is coming to eat you.
But now, if I have to, do you think that as an HR, maybe for them being intimidating is a requirement? And why do you think that, if you think yes, no? and because my perception of this is that I am already preparing you for what's going to happen with clients. Like, you cannot be intimidated by anybody because there are clients. Come on, I mean, when you have people who are buying products, items worth 40-50 lakh rupees minimum at times. So you have to be confident in front of them when you're dealing with them. So sometimes you think that that's also a trick part. The HR tries to throw you off.
I was just going to say that. It is a trick because that intimidation factor sort of lasts only for the first few minutes. And that is mainly to test your confidence. Whether are you confident in yourself or whether do you believe yourself that okay, you can crack this. So that's why my particular trick, what I do for all my interviews is that I reach the place half an hour early. So that the environment, I can soak into the environment, and I always carry a glass of water with me just so that to end those sort of nervous energy around. And this I do since the day of my exams, like even in college, even in the exams that we used to do for SPJ, I used to reach early because I just want to sort of make myself at home first, make that place, make that surrounding my own, and then even if anyone else comes in front of you, then once you're settled in, once the nervous energy is gone, it's dissipated into the atmosphere, then nothing can happen. And then just all you gotta do is just believe in yourself and trust the process that okay, whatever you have learned is enough, and you are good enough to sort of crack it.
So basically, it's important to overcome that.
Exactly.
And you can't. I mean, yes, everyone has their own, as you said, you have certain things that you do. But eventually, your confidence comes from knowledge that you would have read something, you've gone through the training, and that's how you can overcome these kind of instances in life where you are maybe interviewing and you are they asking you sometimes questions which are not really relevant, but it's again to maybe throw you off. So that does happen a lot in this space, in the luxury space, and I think more than anything, appearance matters also. What do you think
well, I think Varsha can take that forward.
So well dressed is the first impression. I'd be lying if I say no, it doesn't matter. It does matter because that is the first impression when somebody's seeing you. They were in those 5 seconds they formed an impression that okay, this person might speak like that. That's how she's looking. So appearance does matter. I'm just talking about well dressed with properly groomed. That's where it plays a big role because luxury is all about that.
And well dressed doesn't necessarily need to be their brands.
Okay.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Wear formal, decent clothes and wear confidence. Wear your confidence. I think whatever you may wear under the sun, if you're not confident about yourself, then it's not going to matter whether you're wearing a Gucci outfit or a Louis Vuitton outfit or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think wearing your confidence comes from here. So you have to be straight and you have to everything that you absorb, in maybe a program like this or maybe wherever in life, if you have had those experiences, then that is where you need to show it or display it, right? So coming back to the point of the topic that we are discussing today is why a specialized master's. At the risk of repeating myself, I don't want to now talk about the importance of luxury education, but I want to now talk about luxury education versus a general master to a certain extent. Although I know that you all are both from specialized backgrounds, but I know that you have, at that point in time, you would have done your R&D that okay, should I do this, should I do that? And Shivansh, you are from a completely non-luxury background. So, non-luxury background, entering into a luxury background, was the perception different when you started interviewing for a big brand and they said, why are you even here? Or why have you done this course?
I still get asked this question on regular basis, even from people who are asking me about the course. The first thing that they ask me is that why from law to this? So I mean that was just I was doing intellectual property rights and that particular corporate law basically, and that has to do with trademarks and copyrights, and I was always fascinated with this whole concept of storytelling that these brands do. That's how I made a shift and I deviated from this. But answering your question, which was
do you think that it was important to have then gone through the specialized masters and not a generic
Yeah,
master.
sorry. Coming back to the question. So, I mean, right now the world sort of is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Gone are the days where they require people like who are jack of all trades but masters of none. It is very important in this day and age that you need to have a specialized knowledge about something. It's talk about cars, for example. Like, I mean, it's changing from like these diesel and petrol cars to electric EVs.
Yes.
Everything in this world is getting specialized.
Yeah.
That's why a specialized training in anything, not just luxury, but in anything is of utmost
whether
importance.
Whether it's tech, whether it's anything. Yes.
And when it comes to luxury, India is also growing exponentially. So they require people who are specially trained in this particular field, and they have that specialized knowledge and skill set. And also the interviews part that you mentioned, I would like to connect the dots here. The reason why that intimidation and that confidence, the reason why that intimidation is not there, and the reason why we are confident is because, for example, you're going for an interview for a particular brand.
Yeah.
But it happens that they ask you about other brands, but you are already well prepared because you've learned that you've done thesis, you've written papers, you've done presentations, so it makes you all the more confident that okay, you talk about India, you talk about Europe, you talk about any particular brand. I am ready because I am well prepared with I know my thing, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be in thin air. It's going to be all with relevant examples. So that's why a specialized education is of utmost importance in this particular field, because you'll be dealing with people who know the particular product probably more than you, because they do their research and then they come to buy a particular thing. It's not just that okay, they are just coming to explore. Most of the people that we attend, they know what they want to buy.
Yeah.
Now it's all about showing them your skills, showing them about your mastery as to what all the specialized things. So yeah, I mean it's very important.
And relationship marketing in luxury is big. It's huge.
It's all about
first time buyers. First time buyers are there, but you are always looking at converting, as you said, brand advocates. They are very important, and they are the ones who know everything A to Z about your brand, the one that you're working for.
Yes.
So obviously your knowledge can't be lower than them. It needs to be a notch or a level higher.
And as we spoke about that, it's a very small circle luxury. So I think a specialized course somehow helps you to enter.
Yeah.
How do you
spoke
enter?
about initiation in
Yes.
industry.
Yes. So how do you enter that circle now? Now that, because for me it played a big role, because I had done the course, I had on my resume big words it was written. That's the reason I could enter this circle.
Yeah.
That's the reason I was given a preference.
You were entertained, you were welcome because of a certain name,
Yes. I was given a preference over the other students because without having an experience, I had something on my resume which, as I already said, it played a role.
Yeah.
And it's still playing a role.
So would you say that to enter, it is important? I will talk about a topic which I think a lot of students will connect. You enter into your master's, not to study. You enter into your master's to have fun, right? Who does an MBA? And I know I'm the program director, but I'm saying this because I've spent nearly a decade of my life dealing with students. So I know that when it's student mentality is, I'm doing my master's, I want to enjoy it, right? So I want you to hit certain notes with our viewers that yes, of course, and I know how much you all have enjoyed your masters as well, but getting a degree, entering into the industry, is it the same as maintaining your position in the industry only because of the weight of the degree that you're throwing around? Like, is it just a degree that matters to enter into the industry?
I have one interesting anecdote with which I would like to answer this question.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people have watched Pocket, and one of the most overused word I would say is nepotism.
Yes.
So when you talk about this particular program, or when you for example, if someone is born in the Kapoor family, let's assume, it's very easy for him to get the first film.
Yes.
And then later on, he has to prove his mettle to stay in the industry. Talking about people who are not from the specialized background, for them it's anyway very difficult to get into the luxury, into the world of luxury.
Yes.
This is your Kapoor dad. This particular course or this specialized degree is the Kapoor dad, which helps you get a gateway to the world of luxury.
Yes.
And then boss, it's all up to
you
you.
look at SPN as a Kapoor family.
Exactly.
When you get into
Then it's all up to you.
when you get into the brand, then
If you don't
it's not
perform,
your degree.
your movie won't
you
work.
show your true.
You have to prove your method.
And how does that do? How does one do that?
I mean, dedication and willpower, because this it's one of the most, also okay, from the outside world it looks very glamorous, but also it's one of the most pressurizing job, like especially luxury retail. We get calls throughout the day, and be it Sunday, be it Monday, be it our leave, like throughout the day the phone is always buzzing, because and we have to remind ourselves of it that we're not in the business of saving lives. We're in the business of luxury, so we can chill and we can ignore that call once, like sometimes.
But it's almost like an addiction, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's what it is. But you have to be mentally strong, and you have to be very practical in maintaining that sort of balance. Otherwise, you'll just burn out very easily. If you don't have that work life and personal life balance, although I mean it's a gimmick though, it's not really possible to maintain that balance, but at least striving or trying to achieve that sort of balance is something that keeps you going. Otherwise, you just burn out in a year. So you have to have that sort of mental willpower.
So yes, so I mean, as Shivansh said and as Varsha said, that doing such a specialized program gives you that entry, that much needed entry that you want, but eventually whatever you have absorbed, that is important. And yes, it is important to enjoy yourselves when you're doing a master's, but it is, and that too when you're doing a twin city, you're traveling to Europe. Of course, there are going to be occasions where you're going to have fun, but at the same time, you need to maintain work-life balance will come later, but you need to also maintain a study and enjoyment quotient, all of that. That's very, very important. So apart from this, like, we spoke about education, we spoke about general masters, specialized masters, we spoke about interviewers and intimidation. We spoke about that kind of passion, whether you are from a non-luxury background, whether you're from a different type of city or non-Mumbai resident. Now coming to a topic which I feel is very close to my heart, because being in this industry for so many years, I can't ever stop thinking about the people who are behind the scenes. So yes, of course, you're selling products, you're with brands, the importance of branding is important, the importance of packaging is important, the importance of visual, everything is very, very important. Ad campaign, storytelling, but the heart of the brand is the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Yes, right. So when you talk about, and especially with, I would say the aspirants, sometimes they just don't understand. For them, it's brand, it's names, Gucci or Louis Vuitton. But now that you're in this industry, now that you're dealing with these products on a day-to-day basis, and Shivansh, just before we started the podcast, we were talking about certain types of exotic things. So do you think that somewhere that is that particular importance of craftsmanship, that attention to detail in product, finishing, the finesse that we talk about, do you think with time it has diluted in brands, or do you think with time it has gotten stronger? What has been your experience? Because as an outsider, you could have a different point of view, because we all do guests, now it's gotten very, it's got very mechanical, or it's gotten very mass, and they're selling online now, the quality. So now that you're in the brand, do you feel that no, it's not, that's not the case, it's still luxury, or it's still 100% authentic, or it's still 100% that amount of man hours is going into certain products. So how would you explain this to our audiences? Because this is, I think, also one of the very, very important points for someone to want to work in this industry, because of the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
Because it's not mechanical, right? Yes. So how would you explain that to you?
So for this, I would say that the quality definitely has improved, I would say. But at the same time, the people in their opinions and everything, they've become more harsh.
Yeah.
They've sort of started like looking at things in a more particular way, in a more detailed manner. But I would like to make one point here, that beauty is in the defense. Talking about Enzo Ferrari, like if you talk about Ferrari cars, they are sports cars. You pay millions of dollars to get a Ferrari, but those are the cars that make most amount of noise. Why? And that's actually not like something. It's actually a defect in the car, I would say. Because if you're paying this amount of money, then the car should probably be one of the most quietest, so it should make that amount of noise. But it's in the defects, like all these things. When you talk about a handbag, if there are some dents or something in the leather, it's because it's handmade. Because that's
yes.
the aesthetics, and we call it savoir faire, like the craftsmanship about the product. So it's all about. I mean, it's everything is there in the defense.
Unevenness.
Yeah.
The unevenness is important.
Yes.
Exactly, because no two products is going to be the same. Reason being, it's not machine made, it's handmade.
Yeah. So, and what about you? What are your?
I agree to this point. I think we've just become more critical about everything, and that is the reason we see it from
We
that
start
point.
second guessing everything.
Yes, exactly. Whatever in life, whatever, we just start second guessing and be more critical. Everybody is now thinking that they're more knowledgeable in that aspect, but that's not the case. It's exactly the same. And I think now, because luxury has become such a aspect which everybody knows about, they have to have that more interest. They now put in more effort also in that. So I think that is there. They're spending more time to in the products also. So I don't think so that's true. Like I think
It's just the perception.
it's
And
just the perception.
if, for example, there is a particular dent also, let's say, or there is some mark on a particular bag, I always say that's the journey that product has gone. It has passed different hands, different people have worked on it for hours, and then it's sort of put in a retail store.
Yeah.
So it's that journey that sort of creates those beautiful defects.
Absolutely. So, well said. I think before we start taking questions from the audiences, I would like both of you. I mean, you've been really, I would say candid. You've been very vocal about whatever it is that you felt. But the people that are listening to you today, they are not people who belong to this industry, but they are people who are newcomers. They are people who are aspirants. They are people who are second guessing themselves that should they not. I think somewhere maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you were in that situation. So who better than you to give them some tips, some guidance, some advice that should they, of course we will take some questions also from the audience, because the audiences, as you know, we are taking Q&A from you. So you can at this point in time start typing your questions on the chat, and we will have a team member call out your questions. We will try to take as many questions as we can. But in the meantime, Shivansh, Varsha, some tips, some leading notes for our viewers.
So I honestly say this to everyone, that it's all about the will and skill. If you have the will to pursue something in the world of luxury, this course will give you the skill sets. This course will give you the skill to achieve that and to learn that. And it again, as we say that luxury is subjective, I would say that this entering into this world of luxury is also a personal opinion, it's a personal choice. If you think that you are passionate towards not just fashion, but it's luxury is not just fashion personally, it's about those beautiful timepieces, yachts, hospitality, a lot of things. So if you have that sort of passion to enter this world, then I would say this course will
I like that, will and skill.
Will and skill, it's all about that.
Very well said. What about
I would like to say this, that whenever somebody enters some place, they expect a lot. They just want a wonderland.
Oh yeah.
So that is what I want to stress upon, that patience is there. You will move forward. It's not like just entering the course and tomorrow you want that you should be sitting at Louis Vuitton headquarters. That is not going to happen. It will happen, but it will happen as he said, will and skill.
Yeah.
You move forward. It's step by step. Patience.
One step at a time.
Yes, patience. After you enter, it's all going to be your hard work. As he said, Kapoor family is just going to be sitting at the back, giving us a push. After that push, it's your win. Yeah, the blessings are there. But if you have patience, believe me, we will all reach whatever focus we are coming with. Like, I want to sit at this brand, I will sit at this brand.
Yeah.
But step by step.
So Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yes, so it's not going to be a wonderland. Just step in, have that much of patience with yourself, and I think it's going to be
and
wonderland.
I think one more thing here, I mean, we were talking about luxury in the same time. So I think nowadays a lot of people talk about affirmation. So if you believe in something and you keep writing it, saying it, yes, that's going to help you get there, but you have to also work towards action. That action is required. And I think that somewhere an affirmation is not just out into the world or into the environment, as they say, it's for you. It's for you. When you keep writing something, you start acting in that direction.
Yes.
So I would say, because I have dealt with youngsters in this industry for so many years, and I will continue to do so, I think, for the rest of my life because I love this industry. But being in the position that I'm in, I would say definitely that whether you were to be an advocate, or you were to be an engineer, or you want to get into fashion, or you want to get into finance, if you have a thirst for luxury and if you are interested in this field, if you have the fascination and the passion, then it's never too late. You can get the right training because in today's world, it is available to you. Back in the days, in I would say early 2000s, we did not have these kind of trainings available. But today, you do have the choice, and you can get that Kapoor family push, as Shivansh said. But yes, I mean, it's important to be very, very sure that this is what you want, and it will definitely happen. But yes, it's not just all glamour, and it is a lot of hard work. Yes, it is a lot of grooming that you will go through. It's a very vigorous, I would say, program. And having said that, at that note, I think we will start opening questions to our audiences. Before we do that, I also want to quickly say that we have our next round of applications happening on next round of evals, happening on 21st. And there is going to be someone from the team who are available on the chat, so they will be sharing their details. So if you are wanting to apply, even if you're not, if you're just you're curious, please reach out to them. They will be the best people to guide you. Some of our student mentors have given us products like Shivansh and Varsha, so you'll be in safe hands. Don't worry about it. And I think now I'll request Miss Iram to maybe call out certain questions. Iram, are you there?
Yes, I am very much there. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Iram.
Thank you so much for the amazing podcast because we've been getting a lot of comments in the Q&A that it's amazing. So I think let's start taking the questions.
Yes.
So Soumya says, thank you for this podcast. While you have spoken about luxury fashion, I want to know what scope there is for jobs in luxury beauty in India.
Okay. All right. So Soumya, so thanks, Iram. I'm going to take that question. Soumya, I can already tell you that the scope is very, very good. And I don't know if you already have work experience or if you're a fresher in this industry. Nevertheless, whether you're a fresher or whether you're an experienced candidate, in the last, I would say, three to four batches, nearly 20% of students that we've had in a particular group have wanted to go into the beauty industry. That means out of, let's say, an odd 50, maybe 15 students odd have wanted to get into that industry, and I would say round about 10 to 15 students have landed jobs in big companies like Nykaa, like Estee Lauder, like MGLuxM, and within those big brands there have been sub brands that they've gotten into. So and at good pay packages as well. This is something that is a very it's the fast moving category of luxury, and because it's a fast moving category of luxury, it is booming. It's experiencing a lot of growth, a lot of expansion, and in the near future it's going to continue to expand. So jobs, beauty sector, big thumbs up to you. If you're interested in this industry, in the beauty industry, then it's the right time for you to get into this program and get into this industry. I hope that answer helps. Can we have the next question, please?
Yes, thank you so much. The next question we have from Charlie, wherein she's asking for the recruitment for freshers. So what about recruitment for freshers? And she needs to know more details about the application inside of the course. So yes, Charlie, we will talk about the application. We will give you all the details. Smita, you can take the
Yes. So regarding the recruitment part, all our students, whether they are freshers, whether they are experienced, they get equal opportunities. And I will also maybe allow Shivansh and Varsha to chip in a little bit once I'm done. But we have a community of students when you are almost preparing to enter your final phase of your masters. So our masters is split into 3 phases. Your first term, which is in SP10 campus in Mumbai, your second term, which is in the Milan campus at Polytechnic Graduate School of Management, and then you have your third term, which is your master thesis, as Shivansh was saying, your dissertation, you have to write papers and this and that. So at that is the point when students start, they are ripened, they are ready to be placed. So we have dedicated people in the system. We have someone who's our industry relations manager, or we call her a placement manager. She starts getting in touch with all students, whether you're experienced or freshers. They start understanding from you, your likeness or your interest in a particular field, and accordingly you will be given opportunities. And in a student's journey, correct me if I'm wrong, you will not just get one opportunity to sit for one interview. You will get multiple opportunities that you may sit for multiple interviews, and then you will be able to probably get shortlisted for, normally our students, if they've sat for 3-4 interviews, within the first or second interview, they already know that where they want to go, and that's when we kind of close on the candidate. And this is a facility that is provided by Jain School of Global Management. But of course, at times our students ask themselves, they are so, I would say, brilliant, or they are sharp, or they are enthusiastic, that they also land up finding opportunities themselves, because as Varsha mentioned, that your degree, the name, that counts. So when you approach people, so it's both ways. I mean, you will get opportunities from the school, multiple opportunities, not just 1 or 2. You will also get assistance on how to sit for the interviews. I would say in the last 2 to 3 batches, we've had more than 90% students who are placed within 3 months. So if you have graduated, let's say in September, you have already got a job by Jan. So that's the road, that's the timeline that we are looking at, which is I think great. So freshers or experienced, there are opportunities.
Thank you so much. We have another interesting question from one of our students. So she is asking if luxury is the future. So people say luxury is the future. Is it true?
Okay. I think I'm going to let Shivansh and Varsha talk a little bit now. So Shivansh, Varsha, what do you think?
Go ahead. So I mean, luxury is the future. That again is a very it's a very open-ended question, I would say. But we used to talk about the whole concept of revenge buying happening in China. Well, I personally have witnessed that in India right now. So as I say, the Indian markets are growing exponentially to a rate where it's completely unheard of and nobody is expecting that.
Yeah.
And for the same reason, new brands are opening up, new malls are opening up, and new opportunities are getting created on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So I would 100% believe with the fact that luxury is the future, because all these brands that you used to see outside, now they're all coming to India, because it's correlated, because the number of HNIs, as we say, high net worth individuals, that have also started increasing in India. Yeah. And the average age of HNIs are one of the lowest in India compared to the other countries. So we also have a new set of buyers, not just and hence new brands are opening up, new malls are opening up. So I do believe that it is.
And I think recently there was also an article in Times of India, a lot of other newspapers that I read, was that in the luxury space right now, people are willing to employ a candidate at 100% higher salary than last couple of years.
Well, the base packages are really higher compared to other brands.
Because of the demand.
Because of the demand.
So I would say that your statement is right, but it's very open. So luxury is the future if you're at the right place at the right time. And currently India is the right place because of the market that is expanding in our country. It may not be the same situation if you are looking at a future elsewhere. Yes. But if you are looking at landing a job here in this country, you are set for the next 10-20 years. I would say it's growing.
100%.
Yes. So yes, thanks, Iram. Do we have more questions?
Yes, we do have a couple.
We have time to take 2 more questions, 2 to 3 more questions. questions.
And one question has to be about Smita's outfit because she looks stunning. So somebody asked her.
Thank you. I'm not revealing that. Yes, Ira.
So there is a question from student Tanya. What if I face problem in the term 3 and if I feel it's difficult for me to crack an interview? Will it be that I miss a good opportunity to get into a good brand? And what are the packages like?
Okay. So I exactly don't know what Tanya means by problem in term 3. If you're talking about problem as in juggling your thesis and your interviews, it will not be a problem because it's a 2-month long period that you get to prepare one capstone, like one project. So it's not that it's about time management. To be very honest, it's about time management. If you can manage your own time, you don't face any problems. And you also can ask for assistance at any time. There will be dedicated time slots where you will be meeting your mentors. So there is going to be someone dedicated from the college, School of Management to guide you during your dissertation term, and there will be, of course, me from Spade who will be available for you if you're getting stuck somewhere. Plus, you have your, it's at your leisure. You work, you study, you finish your dissertation at your leisure, and you have to make yourself available for interviews. So, cracking the interview. So I don't think term 3 is a problem. It's about you managing your own time.
No, I think her confusion is there that she probably thinks that probably there is some time slot allotted for all the interviews, but it's not that.
No,
it's an ongoing process.
It's an ongoing process.
Because even I'm getting opportunities right now
Yes.
of whenever there is a new opportunity in any particular brand.
Yes.
So SPGen has kept me also updated. So it's an ongoing process. You won't lose out on anything.
Yes.
Even if you a couple of months here or there, you still get a opportunity.
So you actually start getting opportunities when you start your term 3.
Yes.
And the opportunities, you'll almost get opportunities weekly, like every week maybe 1, 2.
Yes.
Depends on how many opportunities we are getting. So it's not that, oh my god, I couldn't crack one interview, so it's the end of the world. It's not like that. You will get more opportunities. And trust me when we say this, MGLuxM is a community. It is a community of people, because even after you've gotten an opportunity and you have become an alum, you have closed on your degree, everything is done. As a part of the community, you will be put in an alum group. You will be part of an alumni community where you will get opportunities regularly, which are maybe for more experienced candidates. So you will never stop getting opportunities. So that fear, oh my god, it's one interview and that's it. It's not like a regular MBA placement. Multiple brands come on one day and you have that one day to crack. It's not like that. It's very, I would say, constant. It's very hands-on.
Yes.
So that's how it is. And I think your last point was on packages. So I can tell you this, that right now the packages, as even Shivansh also mentioned, they are pretty good. I'm going to talk purely on freshers. Because obviously if you're an experienced candidate, our goal at SPGen is to get you a package which is higher than your previous package, and that can be different for different people. But on an average, we are providing freshers packages of anything between 7.5 to 8.5 lakh rupees. And the highest package that a fresher got from the program, from the school, was 16 lakh rupees as a starting salary. So these are some very, very, I would say, good figures out there. And I would also want to say here that if you're working in this industry, of course it depends, maybe from sector to sector. But if you're in a fast-moving sector like beauty or fashion, things like that, you also get your CTC and your incentives. I mean, your incentives is something that could be, that maybe how much you're making in a year, you could make that same amount or close to that amount in your 2 incentive rounds, or in your incentives. So again, it really depends on which industry you're getting into, but don't just say that take it as a CTC as your final, what you're going to earn. This is also a mistake that a lot of students make. I would also say, like, people who are interested in automotive, your salaries might be a little lower than someone who's working maybe in beauty, for example, but your incentives will be much higher.
Yes.
You can earn close to, and I'm not saying this randomly, we recently had an event with Bavaria Motors, India, BMW, Pune last week, this week, and the MD told us that there are some young talents who didn't join, and they make nearly 2 lakh rupees a month just in incentives.
Yeah.
That's not even the salary that they take. So if you are someone who's ready to hustle and you're a hustler and you're fierce, I think money is not going to be an issue, and growth is what you're looking at. Then don't just think about the salary. But yes, I already announced, I already spoke about the starting salary, but that's just one part of it. There's a lot more there are a lot of perks and a lot of other things also.
Also, there is one subject in this course called negotiation, which will come in very handy while you're talking
Yes,
to like
yes,
HR.
yes. So, Iram, do we have time for one last question?
Yes, for the answers. The students have a lot of questions with respect to the fee structure, the accommodation. So I would just like to address this question. So guys, my colleague has shared the contact details of the student mentor. You can always drop a message to us. We will talk about all these things in detail with you. Just one thing I would like to add, we have a last round of evaluation on 21st of this month. So you have time to fill the application till tomorrow. So
Yes.
just let us know in case you need any help. We'll be more than happy to help you. And I think, Smita ma'am, you covered everything. Okay, the questions more or less, everything is covered.
Yes. Okay then. So I
Just
think
one thing I would like to say. So one of our students, she mentioned that ma'am, Smita ma'am, you look amazing. Is Smita ma'am there in Dolce & Gabbana by any chance?
as I said, I'm not going to reveal my secrets. You have to join MGLuxM to know where the wardrobe comes from.
Yes.
Luxury is also about mystery.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Shivansh and Varsha here look stunning. So I think that was you've been a great audience, and I think the questions are also very, very relevant.
Yeah.
We've had fun answering them, and thank you so much, guys, for joining us and for asking the right questions. And I know that, as I said, you're in good hands now. You have Iram, ma'am, who's your student mentor, and please don't hesitate to reach her out for anything. And as she said, tomorrow is the last day for applications, so applications away.
I just have one parting point.
Yes.
So just remember, guys, that it's sorry I talked about. So just remember one thing, that it's not a 100-meter race; it's a marathon. So you need to start enjoying the journey rather than
Yes.
just thinking of the end goal.
Absolutely, I
That's
100% agree to that.
I was about to add that live the life that you want to have rather than living the life that you currently have. So, aspire for more,
Yes.
and it's an ongoing journey, and you're going to have a lot of fun.
Thank you guys
Thank you.
for being here, and thank you audience for being so wonderful, and we're signing off now.